Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass. And if you're listening to this, thank you so much for subscribing to this content, whether it be through Spotify or through our website. Thank you, and thank you. We got a fun one for this one, and it's pretty much tailor-made for my lovely co-host, my dear wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, and I am so excited about this one.
You know, I'm going to let you tell our listeners what they're in for. What subject are we covering this week for Keep Watch Pass?
Today, we rate the Harry Potter World of Wizardry.
Now, that being said, I don't know if you put any of these movies in. I know me personally, I kept my selections to just the Harry Potter movies, and I ignored the Fantastic Beasts ones. We didn't set that rule, in advance, but I'm just going to put it out there that that's what I did. I don't know what you did. We don't talk about our picks before we actually record.
I know, and now that you mention it, I wasn't fully prepared for the exam today. I didn't.
You didn't even consider them, did you? So clearly you were in the same mindset that I was.
Yes. No, I'm talking about the full
Daniel Radcliffe. Yep.
The every year return to Hogwarts that seems to get worse and worse for Harry Potter and his mates.
Yeah, I mean, if you thought your school sucked, just imagine being Harry Potter and every year pretty much facing death at some point.
I question the parenting of, everyone. They keep getting sent back to this school and only bad things happen. People are trying to kill them, yo.
What is worse, getting an acceptance letter for Hogwarts or getting summons for jury duty?
Well, I'm still waiting on my acceptance letter for Hogwarts. It'll happen one year.
One day, 1 year, hopefully, maybe someday. So let me explain what we're about to do. We are about to go through the Harry Potter movies, each of us selecting 3 different movies. One that we would keep, one that we would watch, and one that we would pass on. Obviously, the keep one is the one we hold in completely high regard. The watch one is, if it's on TV, we'll watch it. And the pass is pretty much self-explanatory.
Can I just say that all 8 are under the watch category for me? Because if they're on, I'm watching it.
Okay. So
if there's a marathon, clear my schedule.
If you have to understand, okay? So there are a couple of things that Carrie does when she's maybe not feeling 100%. Certain movies that she will watch when she's under the weather. The first one is Mr. Right, and we covered that over on It's Not That Bad. But this, when Carrie's really not feeling well, cue the marathon.
Always.
Right? She doesn't actually get through the entire marathon because, she has movie narcolepsy and falls asleep before once the opening credits are done.
There's many naps that happen, but the nice thing is that I have watched each and every one of these movies so many times that I can wake up and just pick up where I left off and know exactly where I am in the lore.
And the funny thing is, it's not like you're like a day one Hogwarts fan. This has been a fairly recent deep dive for you.
This was a pandemic purchase that
that we're still paying.
Jay bought me the book series, and I was like, I've never actually seen a Harry Potter movie, and then cue the movies and the books and the entire shrine in my office to Harry Potter.
Little did I know that when I bought her the book set, I'd be paying for the book set for the rest of my life. Not the books are paid. Everything else in the office is paid, but yeah, it's a shrine. It's a shrine.
I'm living the wizard life.
All right, so we are now set to go. Since you are the Potterhead, I'm going to let you go first with your keep movie.
Well, again, I'd like to keep them all, but my most favorite is the number one, the first Philosopher's Stone.
Or the Sorcerer's Stone.
Or the Sorcerer's Stone, yeah, depending on
which version you got, yeah.
But the movie
right.
Often goes by Philosopher's Stone or Harry Potter 1, the original. And my reason for selecting the the first movie is that on a recent trip to Universal Studios Orlando, you literally get to walk into Diagon Alley, and you literally get to walk into Hogsmeade, and everything, right?
They may
all of
bid
the
it here.
stores, the Owl Post. It's like, you walk up to Hogwarts, School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and you've got your robe on, and it's just magical. The train trip from Hogsmeade Station to Diagon Alley or back. Take both. Don't just do one way. You need to take both. It is just everything from the first movie you literally can live by visiting Universal Studios. And, this is just a shameless plug for, I am in no way affiliated with Universal.
Although that being said, we would like to be affiliated with Universal, but we're shameless.
You know what? There's just something magical about being there and it's like you're walking onto the set. And the original story is just kind of where it starts, right? So you have to love that. There's just something about the magic of it.
Okay. Please don't hate me.
You didn't pick this one. This is probably your pass.
It actually is my pass. I have a feeling we're going to be doing this a lot through the run of Keep Watch Pass.
You monster.
But let me explain. So each of the films, and I do agree with you, and this is very hard to actually sit there and really nitpick each of the 8 films, because I think I get why they're remaking it for HBO Max or whatever hell they want to call it.
Really, I don't.
Well, money, but they want more money, right? That's if they ever get the strike and start paying their writers and their actors properly. But I digress. But the thing with the first film, and while it does have its charms, and there isn't a single recast in my mind, we're really kind of grading on a curve on this one here, is that there are aspects of the film that do not hold up over time. The first thing that comes to mind is the Quidditch match. Some of the CGI in the Quidditch match would be passable as a PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 game. And I've played the PlayStation 2 game for Quidditch, and I mean, it's pretty much exactly the same graphic quality. So just watch some of the Slytherin players during the game, and when it's clearly not green screened, right? So the green screen work is fine and whatnot, but some of the CGI really doesn't hold up. And I found in relation to some of the other stories, I found the story a little draggy. And I appreciate that you have to set the world. You have to build the world before you live in the world. But in comparison to the other films, it dragged a little bit. And that's just my personal thought process on it. But you look like you're about to disown me at this point.
It's interesting that you say it dragged, because in my mind, that was the 7th film.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. And because, I mean, like, it's a big book, and you really needed to end the series, with a bang. So a 2-parter, and of which now everyone's doing these days. Thanks, Harry Potter. Before Avengers, there was Harry Potter. But yeah, no, that is my pass. But now we get to my keep film. And for me, my keep is actually Order of the Phoenix, the 5th film. There was so much in this film. Obviously, you get Dumbledore's army in this one. You get the fight in the Ministry of Magic. There's a lot to it. And I found that, action-wise, beat-wise, pace-wise, the introduction of characters like Luna Lovegood. Right?
Dolores Umbridge.
Right? And that's the thing. Dolores Umbridge, I mean, yes, you have... he who shall not be named, right? Obviously is the big bad, but Dolores Umbridge, just a delicious villain. just chewing the scenery at every single time. And it's one of those moments where, like, when Voldemort was defeated, it's like, okay, you knew it was coming. But when Dolores Umbridge got her comeuppance, you're like, yes. And it's one of those things, like, she's the villain you want to see get her just desserts.
I cannot tell a lie.
Right? And this is when you could really start to see, that dark turn, or that more serious turn. Like, when she's making Harry, like, write lines, and it's actually like, Slayer tattooing himself on his wrist and whatnot. Like, that's when Ish was really starting to get serious. Like, I get Goblet of Fire, right? But this is when Ish was really starting to get serious and real, and you could see that turn. But yeah, for me, it was Order of the Phoenix. Since I'm down 2 movies, I'm going to go to you for your watch film.
My watch is the third movie, Prisoner of Azkaban. Very, like, if you ask any Harry Potter fan what their favorite movie is, more often than not, you'll get the answer Prisoner of Azkaban. So it is, I believe, the most popular of the releases, and for very good reason. I mean, the kids, dare I say, but the magical trio were getting older, and it was just that perfect age of, like, the romances started to bud, and you can kind of, like, see where at one point, Hermione and Ron kind of separated themselves from Harry, and it was kind of like, you kind of get that, like, teenage drama almost in the underlying,
if Harry Potter were Riverdale, yeah.
Not only that, but we really get to meet Sirius Black, who was just beautifully played by
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman, absolutely. So that is my watch, and I guess.
So I will admit, when I first watched Prisoner of Azkaban with you, I was like, wow, this is dragging. That film actually grew on me as time went on, and through your multiple rewatches of me walking into your office and like, oh, hey, guess what? Harry Potter's on the TV again. Right? It's a common theme around your office, but that film really did grow on me, and there's certain moments, you're right, where it really picked up. I think you just liked it because Hermione got to,
Oh, the smackdown?
Right.
Of Malfoy? Absolutely.
And then the fact that you got to watch herself beat up Malfoy again, right? It's like, because you had to watch it twice.
It really was, I think, the most clever with the time turner. And it had that moment of, they really took you on a twist. They took, even the part, though, where Sirius was introduced, and you think, oh my God, this is going to be the end of Harry Potter and his friends. Like, Sirius Black, he's a criminal, he's bad. But no, that was really where the story started to take a turn. But then you also see Snape defend the kids, and you kind of see that moment of, all right, so maybe Snape, I mean, he's a good guy, he's a teacher, but maybe he's good? Is he bad? I don't know, right? And that was really that pivotal moment in characterization for all of the main characters.
Prisoner of Azkaban really was the film that had the most, ambiguity to the characters. You weren't quite sure who was on whom's side for the most part. I mean, yes, Gryffindor good, Slytherin bad kind of thing. But yes, Snape had you second guessing yourself.
The introduction of Lupin.
Exactly. And then, Sirius Black had you second guessing a lot of things. Like, it wasn't cut dry. It wasn't you're good, you're bad, and you two go head to head.
Well, it was so pivotal in Harry understanding his father more when he got to really, meet his father's crew. Lupin, Sirius Black. Like he learned more about his mom and about Snape, I think, in this, the story became much larger.
Right.
Yeah, and that's really where it got good.
I can't disagree with that pick. It's a good pick. Not my watch, though. My watch is actually the fourth movie, The Goblet of Fire. Now, I recognize that a lot of people are going to sit there and go, The Goblet of Fire? Really? Really? Do you even Harry Potter? And yes, I'll be the first to admit that this film is a horrible misuse of a perfectly good David Tennant. However, that being said, this movie redeemed itself in the Triwizard Cup and the very end. Like, if you wanted to know where Harry Potter was going to go, the very end and the death of Cedric Diggory. Like, that almost, I would say, is, at that time of movies, probably your Avengers Infinity War level kind of, they did what?
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree, and I'm going to share that is my pass.
Oh.
Goblet of Fire is the one that I skip over in the marathon. It's like...
I'd love to know why.
Because, okay, first of all, the introduction of Cedric Diggory as a character wasn't even until this movie. Mm-hmm. So you really don't... You don't have that same level of care for him as if it were like a Neville Longbottom. It was the introduction of who was the kid with the camera?
Oh yeah.
So you're meeting all these new characters, these new faces in Hogwarts, and it's like, well, where have they been for the last 4 years?
Yeah.
Right? Or 4 movies. So it's kind of like, I mean, was Cedric's death tragic? Yes, 1000%. I'm not negating that, or I'm not arguing that point at all. However, it was the Triwizard Cup itself was just.
But then you get that
boring.
Showdown with Harry and Voldemort, like that real showdown where we really see Voldemort for the first time, rather than just etch-a-sketched on the back of dude's head in the first movie.
Well, which was awful, by the way. But
yeah, speaking of things that don't hold up, hold the test of time.
But you know what was interesting about it was the use of the characters when they were underwater, and that Harry had to choose one.
Yeah,
he couldn't save everybody, and as much as he wanted to, it was a great introduction of Voldemort. I'll give it that. But as far as interest in the movies, it really lost me. And I think the book was better.
This kind of leads to my pontification here. Obviously, HBO is looking at doing this remake of the Harry Potter series, with each season basically covering one book. So, in essence, you're going to have 7 seasons, and you're going to explore some of these stories a lot more. And some of these characters, because you've read most of the books, but...
All but the end of...
Yeah, which you got to finish.
I know.
You got to finish.
I know.
I know you're double booking, but you got to finish.
Deathly Hallows. It's because I know how it ends, and I don't want to read the ending because I don't want it to happen. And if I read it, then it makes it happen. Isn't that silly? That's literally why I've been.
It's fascinating though, because it is. It's one of those things where there's always that argument of the book versus the movie kind of thing, and by watching the movies first and then getting to reading the books, it's what's coming, and it's probably going to be more detailed in the book, and it's almost like you're purposefully avoiding reaching the end of it.
Well, it's interesting because isn't there like a study in psychology that it's actually very calming if you consistently watch the same movie again? And you had mentioned that this is my sicky go-to, right? If I'm
that Mr. Right.
If I'm sick, the Harry Potter marathon is happening. But I think that's more, because I have the time, right? I actually have nothing else to do.
Ain't going nowhere. Time to watch a marathon.
Sleep and watch 8 hours of, of Harry Potter.
And that's just about 2 or 3 movies at that point.
No, but truly, it's like, yes, I'll watch the movies. Yes, I've watched to the end. And the conclusion is just so tragic. I mean, from the moment that, and if you haven't seen the Harry Potter movies, I'm about to spoil it, but from the moment that Dumbledore passes away, not by his own hand, he falls from the window. It's horrible.
No crying on the podcast.
Okay, but you know what? It's kind of like, okay, maybe if I don't read it, then it doesn't happen.
Okay.
Maybe it happens differently.
But let me ask you this though. Okay, getting back to the original thought process here, because we have gone on a different trail here. When you read the 4th book, did you like the book better than the movie?
Yes.
Okay. So if you have an HBO series where each season is just one of the books, and this is just hoping that they get the cast right, and that's going to be tough. I feel bad. I feel sorry for anyone who's going to step into those roles, because it's going to be a great opportunity, and B, you are constantly going to get compared to the original 3.
I very much think the remake is a bad idea. Period. End of story. Like,
can we not get a Cursed Child story?
No amount of money. Okay, Cursed Child.
Yes.
As a movie.
Yes.
With bring back the original 3. Mm-hmm. Like Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, Daniel Radcliffe. Bring them back.
Right.
Make that happen. Yeah, I mean, even Tom Felton. Oh my God, I need to see him back in like the Slytherin robe. Like
right.
he is so meant to,
And when you saw them all together at the the reunion special,
yeah,
like you have to think that if given the opportunity to do Cursed Child, and let's be honest, if the money is there, I'm sure HBO can make a thing happen. If they really want to.
I think they should focus their efforts on that.
Right.
Instead of
I agree.
Trying to remake a property that is just so damn iconic.
I mean,
why would you do it?
Yeah.
Why would you put that on any actor or actress?
I mean,
to try and fill those shoes.
Fantastic Beasts was a good way to go to continue the franchise. Prequel kind of thing, and you see the early days of Hogwarts and young Dumbledore. Like, I thought those movies were good. That's fine. And I get that, maybe they didn't get the results that they were looking for, whether it be the box office or the fan reaction. But regardless of, do different stories. Don't just go back and remake. But again, that's soapbox.
Fantastic Beasts is a whole other episode.
There's 3 movies.
I know. Catch me on It's Not That Bad, and I will defend to
Hogwarts and back.
To Hogwarts and back. The Secrets of Dumbledore.
All right.
That was bar none my favorite. But anyway.
Coming soon to an It's Not That Bad podcast near you. Right? Okay, before we go, Keep Watch Pass. What have you got?
My keep is the first movie, Philosopher's Stone. My watch is Prisoner of Azkaban, and my pass is The Goblet of Fire.
And my keep is The Order of the Phoenix. My watch is The Goblet of Fire, and my pass is The Sorcerer's Stone. I'm going to call it The Sorcerer's Stone just to be different. Just to be different.
Isn't it interesting how neither one of us touched the
2nd, 6th, 7th, or 8th?
Well, I was going to say the Deathly Hallows, whether you look at it as one movie or 2 or a continuation.
But luckily we didn't have to have that debate.
We didn't even touch the Deathly Hallows.
Right?
Interesting.
Maybe that will be for some other show somewhere down the road. But until that time, Carrie, thank you so much. And to you, our listeners, we want to know how you would classify some of the movies in the Harry Potter franchise, whether they be your keep, your watch, or your pass. Find us on social media at Not That Badcast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. Drop us a line and let us know. And once again, thank you for listening to this episode of Keep Watch Pass. She's Carrie. I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. Until next time, everyone, take care.
Hey folks, Stefan Shirazi and Renee Richardson here from the Metallica Report.
And we are proud members of the Pantheon podcast family, where the best of music and podcasts unite.
We've got something pretty cool for you. We're giving away an exclusive Metallica merch package worth over $250.
That's a whole lot of Scary Guys, skulls, M72, and other sought-after Metallica swag. And we've made it easy for you to win. Follow and share the Metallica Report, and you're in the game. Go to pantheonpodcast.com/Metallica, enter your email, and hit that button to be entered to win.
And just like that, you're eligible for our monthly exclusive Metallica merch package.
And guess what, rockers? You can enter every month, so just do it. And while we love our global brothers and sisters, the lawyers won't let us ship outside the U.S.